Good morning, everyone. I am Sargam Agrawani, and today we're going to learn about data science. I am studying in Integrated MCA IIPS TFEV 5th semester, and today I'm going to present you what I have learned so far in data science subject. So let's begin with data science. Let's start with data science. If you think about it, data science is like this magical blend of statistics, programming, and problem solving. It's the way we turn away messy data into something useful. Imagine this. Companies collect tons of data, everything from sales numbers, customer behavior to website traffic, but that data is on its own like it's an uncut diamond. So we need data science to clean it up, find patterns, and use it to make decisions. When we talk about data science, it's more than just crunching numbers. It's about understanding what the data means and using it to solve problems. For example, Netflix uses data science to recommend movies based on what you have watched before, or based on its or banks use it to figure out for a loan application is risky. It's everywhere. The process starts with data collection. Once we have the data, we clean it up, remove the junk, and make it easy to work with. After that, we analyze it, look for patterns, and finally, visualize the results so it makes sense to people. It is a cycle of running messy data into valuable insights. Firstly, we will start with basics of coding in R and Python. It is the first topic of data science. Okay, let's just okay, this is our Google Colab, and now I'm going to explain you basics of coding in R and Python, and this is our first one of the 12 topics in data science we are going to learn so far. And now let's talk about coding in Python and R. These are the two main languages you'll use in data science. Python is super popular because it's easy to read and has a ton of libraries to help you with pretty much anything. R, on the other hand, is more tailored for statistical analysis, and it's been around for ages in the data world. Let's break down some basic concepts that will help you get started. First concept is using comments. First things first, comments. These are little notes you write in your code to explain what's going on. They don't actually do anything. They're just there to help you understand the code and until you come back to read it later. In Python, we use a hash to write comment. For example, I've given this Python example to explain you what a comments are. This is a comment in Python, and it is explaining us that 5 is assigned to the variable x. We have used the print function to print the output of the x. As we can see, we've run it, and the output is 5 here. In R, it's pretty much the same deal. You use hash for comments there too. Think of comments like sticky notes on your code. They make it so much easier to understand. Executing comments. Okay, now let's talk about executing comments. This is where you actually run the code and see it work. In Python, if you're working in Jupyter Notebook or Google Colab, you can press Shift plus Enter to run the code. Super simple. In R, you'll probably use RStudio. Once you've written some code in the script editor, just hit the Control plus Enter to run it. Getting familiar with this is the key because you'll be running a lot of code during your work. Okay, I've given some examples. As you can see, when we run this code, it will give the output of 10. Okay, now let's get into importing packages. In coding, there are pre-built tools called packages or libraries that you can use so that you don't have to code everything from scratch. It's like borrowing a tool from someone instead of making your own. Do you understand? It's reusing a code. It's very useful. In Python, let's say you want to work with data, so you'll need the pandas library. To use it, you import it at the beginning of your script. We can see that this is pandas library in Python. We import it. If we want to use it, we have to import it. As you can see, we have imported it. In R, you would use library to load the packages. It's important to remember to import the libraries you need, otherwise your code won't run. Now, okay, now that your code is set up, the next thing is to get your data into the system. You can't analyze data unless you've loaded it first, right? In Python, you'll probably use pandas to load data. We use pandas to load data in Python, as you can see in this example. Once you load data, you can start working with it. Remember, data is the raw material and we'll clean it up in the next steps. Once you've done your analyzing or cleaned up your data, you want to um okay, it is showing a error because I tried to run this code, and as we can see that this library right now or this code is not saved in my file, or this file is not saved in my system. So when we try to run it, it's obviously going to give an error. That's why it's giving an error, while other things, the syntax and what I've written is correct. Don't worry about it. Next point is saving output. Once you've done your analysis or cleaned up your data, you'll want to save your work. In Python, you can save the data to a new CSV file like this. This is a Python example to save the CSV file. In R, you have to do something similar, as I've given both the examples for Python and R. Saving output is important because you want to keep your work safe and also share it with others if needed. Okay. Now, accessing records and variables. Finally, let's talk about accessing records and variables. Once your data is loaded, you'll often need to grab specific rows or columns. In Python, if you want to grab a particular row, you can do something like this. Like this, I've given this example to grab a particular row or column. The In R, it's pretty similar. If you want to access a specific row or column, you can just use indexing. Like we have used indexing in this particular print statement of R. Okay, to access the rows or columns. Now, being able to grab and manipulate data is super useful because you will do it all the time while analyzing data sets. All right, now that we have covered the basics, let's dive into data preparation in the next video.